It's really hard to hear intuition actually, because trauma is very loud. Doubt, fear, insecurity, the stories that we've built up that have been perhaps validated through our human experience, they're very loud, they're repetitive, and therefore they have carved some really deep neural pathways in our mind. And so it requires the same dedication, repetition, and sort of engagement with the new beliefs, the new thoughts, the new feelings to actually shift us into a state of intuitive receptivity. So the daily activity of playing, the journaling, all of that, that is what begins to sort of lessen the depth, kind of create more superficiality in those really established neural pathways and create more openness, peace, and space for those new pathways to build themselves. But in terms of identifying the two voices, it's actually, like I said, quite immediate and simple. Intuition speaks lovingly, with encouragement, with softness, with a lot of belief. And it also tends to happen quite quickly. But the reason that it's quick, the reason that it's fast is because the ego is trained like a guard dog to say, oh, I saw someone trying to daydream in here. Don't get any funny ideas. Like, don't believe in yourself. No way.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like that immediate negation, right? That comes in.
Yeah.
And so what we have to do is say, oh, ego, I totally get it. You're really scared. You're really scared because someone told us that we're not good enough once, and you're trying to protect me. You're trying to keep me from doing something that you think I might fail at, that I might fall, I might hurt myself, I might fall short. You're just trying to protect me. And I've really found that, at least for me, and for my clients, approaching your ego with that energy rather than like, you're not my friend, get out of here. Like, your ego already feels unloved, unwanted, ostracized. It's the parts of you that feel the shadow, the pain, the difficulty of life, the wounding. And so why add to that, right? Like, let's meet the ego with softness and say, oop, we interrupted. Like gentle parent. You're really like gentle parenting your ego. Like, oh, we interrupted. We don't interrupt.
Yeah.
Let's just hear what that voice has to say. Like, let's just see. Okay, so I saw myself writing a book. Well, what do I think it's about? Okay, yeah. And taking ourselves back into that vision and giving ourselves permission to explore that vision, because it is speaking truth to us. It is speaking. And this is where I was talking about jealousy earlier. I really think that jealousy is such a potent teacher. You don't have to sit in it. You don't have to wallow in it. You don't have to stew in it. But when I see someone doing something and I'm like, ooh, I want to do that. It's just, I'm just being aware that there's a part of me that wants to do that and thinks that I can. There's a part of me that thinks that I can. And that's really important. So automatically, if you just really pay attention, the voice that says, no, you can't, that's stupid, it's too hard, divorce is difficult, I can't change careers at 40, there's no way, I'm too old, I'm too this, I'm too that. Honey, if there's a voice that's telling you can't, you know who that is. And if there's a voice that's telling you you can, you know who that is. And sometimes it's more scary to believe that we can than to believe that we can't. And so there's a lot of layers, like I said. Like, first we have to kind of be willing to give that voice permission to speak, because it's actually quite polite. Your intuition is very much, it's like, I think of it as like in a debate. If one person is like constantly interrupting, that's your ego. And your intuition is like, if I may finish, it's like this very soft voice.
Oh my God, I love everything that you said, but just that distinction of your intuition is soft, gentle. It's always supporting you. And the ego is the one it's trying to protect you, but in a negative way, sometimes like self-doubt, self-criticism. But when you put it that way, it makes it more clear, right? I think in my experience, usually the intuition is the first voice and the ego is the second voice. But sometimes the second voice comes so fast that you're like, wait, which one do I listen? And some people don't even hear the first voice. They only hear the second voice because the first voice is just too soft. But yeah, you're right. It's just a matter of practice and listening.
Thank you. Thanks for validating me in my response.
Another thing I want to talk to you about is this concept of energy care or spiritual hygiene, whatever you want to call it, but it's the things that we do to protect ourselves and take care of our energy. I've been really huge on this too, because as I go down this path, I'm so aware of my energy and that I really have to take care of it, right? You have to be aware of how you're feeling. What do I need? How can I take care of myself better? So what advice do you have, and what does your spiritual hygiene look like?
I love this question. Thank you so much for asking this, because I think very often we have a belief that it looks a certain way. And there are definitely people out there in the spiritual community who are like, here's how you do it. Let me teach you. And I respect that, because if that works for you and you're a genuine person who wants to share that medicine with someone else, like, that's so amazing. And if someone resonates with that, I
Yeah.
love that. But I
Yeah.
also think sometimes, if I may be so bold, I'm just going to be honest, there are sometimes that I have felt even a little bit like outside of the spiritual community as a practitioner and like a public figure, because, I get told, like, if you're not willing to, sit with a yoni egg up in your vagina, or like put your own menstrual blood on your face, like, you're not spiritual. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And I think what's really important to recognize is that your spiritual hygiene is so subjective, because spiritual hygiene is about what brings you back to yourself, what allows you to connect to your energy. And what my spiritual practice may look like, which I'm happy to go into, may not be the same for you, because we're different people. And I honor those differences. And it's really important for me to know in my life, the people around me, what their needs are in terms of coming back to themselves. For my husband, it's rock climbing. When he finishes work, he's like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. I'll be back in a couple hours. And getting into that space of physicality and coming into his own body out of his brain is such a healing practice for him. So it's really important to understand that there's going to be a lot of people telling you exactly what that should look like. And I would love to invite each and every one of you that's listening to really be willing to ask yourself, what helps me feel like me. So for me personally, getting dressed. I love getting dressed. I love my clothes. I love doing my little hair. I love my nails. I love just like adorning my human vessel, because I'm so excited about it and I love it.
Yeah.
And I take care of it in lots of ways. But I also love to like get dressed up and be playful and have fun. I also love to watch bloopers of shows. Like, one of the things that I'll do between sessions to like clear my energy and get back into like joyful, radiant vibrance is like watch bloopers from some of my favorite shows and just laugh. I love to laugh. I love to give my dogs nice cuddles and snuggles. But there are also things that I do that are specific to my energy body. Oh, another one for me is music. I'm a musician.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
so
gosh.
getting on my little omnichord, or just even singing, belting, like my favorite
Yes.
thing to do is just belt out songs. Even just a cappella, get into the vibration of my voice, my energy, listen to myself. Me. I love to be in that energy. But some of the things I do for my energetic body, I make sure that I eat clean food. I make sure that if I'm not able to eat clean food, that I'm at least praying over my food, or performing some sort of like energy work, or even just moments of gratitude over my food. I have a crystal weighted blanket. It's like a weighted blanket that's full of crystals.
Wow.
That is my go-to. Squishmallows. Squishmallows are a big medicine for me energetically, getting into my inner child, playing with some slime, laughing with my friends. I love my affirmations, my meditations, my journaling. I would say those are my daily practices, my walks, my time in nature, my time with animals, my time with myself. And carving that out is really important. So you're going to get a lot of opinions about what that's going to look like. But again, it's so vitally important to really consider what makes me feel like me. Because the point of spiritual hygiene is to simply free yourself. Not only, I actually have a reminder that goes off on my phone every single day at 9 a.m. that reminds me what spiritual hygiene is. Spiritual hygiene is not just clearing yourself of what does not belong to you, but it is also about restoring what does belong to you. This is so deeply important to connect to your own unique vibration and ask yourself, what restores me? And another practice that I think is super important, and this is when I'd love to teach a little tangible tool. If you're in a group setting or a family gathering or somewhere where you're not feeling emotionally or energetically safe, one of my favorite things to do is, it's called like crossing fingers. And you just cross your fingers on one hand. You can, just hide your hand, put it in your pocket, put it anywhere that feels right for you. You don't have to walk around like this, like like hexing all the people around you. But really, it's an invitation and an opportunity just to set an energetic boundary around yourself. And I like to do it when I'm in public. I like to do it so that, like when I go to the grocery store, I have headphones on. I like to be in my own little
I
zone.
see.
And if I don't really want to be like approached, or if there's, a conversation that I find is harmful to me, but I'm not really able to like step away from, I just cross my fingers. And it really does immediately enact this sort of energetic bubble and boundary around you that keeps you really safe and supported. And it's like, I think that one's one of my favorites because I could walk you through, 1,000 visualizations and things that you can do. But I love this tangible little free thing. If you've got 2 fingers, you can do it.
Okay. So you're crossing it to like that, then you have a boundary to protect you.
Yes. It's sort of like enacts, it's almost like an activation for this sort of energetic bubble that we're placing on ourselves of protection. And I like to define for myself what that bubble looks like. So for me, it's like this kind of white, sparkly, iridescent with like little hints of pink. And I know that my guides are setting that bubble in place for me, and that which most highly serves me may enter, and that which may most highly serve others may exit. But anything else just bounces right off. And anything that belongs to me that I don't need to be spreading to other people stays in my bubble too. And it's just about kind of creating those energetic boundaries. And I love that's just so easy. And I just slide it in my pocket and keep on going.